Why you wouldn't survive. One day, as a Roman baker, you wake before the sun, not because you want to, not because the morning is beautiful, but because in ancient Rome, bread does not wait for anyone. The room around you is still dark, warm, and close. The air smells faintly of smoke, wool blankets, and last night's dying fire. Somewhere outside, a rooster calls into the blue-black morning. Farther away, in the narrow Roman street, you hear the first wheels of a cart rolling over stone. You are not a senator, you are not a soldier, you are not a poet. Today, you are a baker. And in Rome, that means your day begins while most of the city is still dreaming. You sit up slowly on your simple bed, feeling the rough linen against your skin. Your arms already ache, though you have not yet done anything. Yesterday's work still lives inside your shoulders. The grinding, the carrying, the kneading, the heat of the oven. All of it remains in your body like a memory. Outside, the city is quiet for only a little longer. Soon, Rome will wake hungry. You step into the bakery, and the first thing you notice is the smell. Flour, ash, yeast, warm stone, old wood. It is not unpleasant. In fact, there is something comforting about it. The smell of bread has always belonged to morning. But here, it is stronger than anything you know. It coats the walls, it clings to your hair, it settles into your clothes. The bakery is small but busy even before sunrise. Clay lamps flicker on the walls, making the shadows move gently across sacks of grain and baskets of loaves. The oven sits like a sleeping beast in the corner, its mouth dark for now, waiting to be fed with wood and fire. Your master, an older Roman baker with flour in the lines of his hands, is already awake. He does not greet you with a smile. There is no time for that. He simply nods toward the grain. The work begins. In the Roman world, bread is not just food. Bread is survival. For many people in the city, it is the center of the day. Poor families depend on it. Workers carry it with them. Soldiers eat it. Children tear small pieces from it. Even the powerful men of Rome know that a city without bread becomes restless very quickly, so the baker must work before everyone else. You move toward the grain mill. At first, you think grinding flour will be simple. You are wrong. The mill is heavy, made of stone, shaped to crush grain between rough surfaces. In some bakeries, donkeys walk in circles to turn the mill. In others, people do it. Today, you help push. The stone does not care how tired you are. You place your hands against the wooden beam and begin walking in a slow circle. Around and around, the grain cracks beneath the weight. The sound is low and steady, like stone whispering to stone. After only a few minutes, your breathing changes. The air fills with dust. Tiny bits of flour rise like pale mist in the lamplight. You breathe it in. It dries your throat. It settles on your eyelashes. It covers your hands, your arms, your tunic. You begin to understand that Roman baking is not the soft, cozy work you imagined. It is hard labor, slow, endless and heavy. Around and around you go. The city outside grows louder. A door opens nearby. Someone coughs. A woman walks past with a water jar. A mule snorts in the street. Far away, you hear voices from the market beginning to rise. Rome is waking, and you are already exhausted. When enough grain has been ground, you help collect the flour. It is not fine and white like modern flour. It is coarser, heavier, filled with tiny rough pieces. The bread made from it will be dense and chewy, sometimes dark, sometimes gritty. You carry it to a wooden table. Now comes the mixing. Water is added slowly. A starter, a alive with natural yeast, is folded into the flour. There is no neat packet of instant yeast here, no electric mixer, no polished steel bowl. Everything depends on touch, memory, and patience. The dough begins as a sticky mass. You press your hands into it. It clings to your fingers. You fold it, push it, turn it, fold it again. The baker watches you and shakes his head. You are too gentle. Bread in Rome is not persuaded. It is worked into shape, so you press harder. Your palms sink into the dough. Your wrists strain. Your shoulders burn. The table creaks softly beneath the movement. Slowly, the dough changes. It becomes smoother, warmer, more alive. The bakery fills with a quiet rhythm, hands pressing dough, water splashing, wood shifting, fire beginning to catch inside the oven. You glance toward the oven. The baker has lit it. A thin orange light glows inside the dark opening. Smoke curls upward. The stones begin to warm. Soon the room will change completely. The gentle morning coolness will disappear, replaced by a deep, dry heat that settles over everything. There is no thermostat, no timer, no button. The baker knows the oven by experience. He reads the color of the fire, the smell of the smoke, the heat on his face. He has done this for years. You have done this for one morning, and already you are wondering how anyone survives a lifetime of it. The first dough is left to rest, but you do not rest. There are baskets to move, wood to stack, ashes to clear, more grain to grind, more dough to prepare. The work has no empty spaces. As the sun begins to lift above the rooftops, pale light slips into the bakery through the doorway. You can see the street now. Rome is fully alive. People pass close by. Laborers, slaves, children, merchants, women carrying baskets, men in tunics talking with quick hands. Some glance toward the bakery. They smell breakfast. They smell comfort. They do not see the aching arms behind it. By now, sweat runs down your back. Flour sticks to your skin. Your throat feels dry from the dust. When you drink water, it tastes faintly of clay from the cup. The dough has risen a little, not dramatically, not like a modern loaf swelling in a warm kitchen, just enough. The baker cuts it into portions. You help shape the loaves by hand, round, firm, simple. Some are marked with lines across the top so they can be broken easily after baking. Each loaf feels heavier than you expect. You place them on a board. The oven is ready. This is the part that makes you nervous. The baker uses a long wooden paddle to slide the loaves into the oven. The heat rolls out against your face. You step back instinctively. He does not. He leans into it, calm and practiced, placing each loaf on the hot stone floor. The fire has been moved aside. The bricks hold the heat. The bread will bake in the stored warmth of the oven. You can smell it almost immediately. At first only warm grain, then something deeper, a rich, earthy scent, the smell of crust forming. For a moment, despite your exhaustion, you understand why people love bread. Even here, in this rough room, with sweat in your eyes and flour in your lungs, the smell is beautiful. It softens the morning. It makes the hard world feel briefly kind. But the peace does not last. A customer arrives, then another, then several more. Some come with coins, some come with tokens, some are impatient. Rome is hungry, and everyone believes their hunger is urgent. The baker speaks quickly. You try to help, but you are slow. You do not know which loaves are for regular buyers, which are reserved, which are cheaper, which are better. You fumble with a basket. A man complains. A woman asks for yesterday's bread at a lower price. You begin to realize that baking is only half the job. The other half is surviving people. The first loaves come out. They are darker than modern bread, with firm crusts and dense centers. The baker taps one and listens. Somehow, he knows from the sound whether it is done. You wish you had that knowledge. Instead, you only feel the heat. Your fingers sting as you move the bread. Even through cloth, the warmth bites. Steam rises gently from the fresh loaves. The smell fills the shop and spills into the street. More people stop, more voices, more orders. The day grows brighter and hotter. By mid-morning, the bakery feels like a furnace. The oven has been used again and again. The walls hold heat. Your tunic sticks to your skin. Your arms feel heavy, almost separate from you. You think of modern kitchens, of clean counters, cool refrigerators, electric lights, bread bought in soft bags from shelves. Here, every loaf is a small battle against time, heat, hunger, and exhaustion. The baker gives you a small piece of bread, your meal. You sit near the doorway for a moment, where the moving air from the street touches your face. The bread is coarse and firm. It takes effort to chew, but it tastes real. Grain, smoke, salt, earth. You eat slowly. Around you, Rome continues. A child laughs nearby. A dog noses at something in the gutter. A vendor calls out fresh fruit. A soldier passes with measured steps. Above the street, laundry moves softly between buildings. For a few breaths, you are simply there, a tired baker in an ancient city. The sun is warm on the stones. The bread is warm in your hand, and the world feels wide and old. Then your master calls you back. There is more to do. Of course there is. More flour, more dough, more customers. By afternoon, your body begins to fail in quiet ways. Not dramatically, not all at once. Just little things. Your grip weakens. Your back tightens. Your feet ache from standing on stone. Your eyes burn from smoke. You move more slowly. The baker notices. He does not mock you. He has seen this before. A person from an easier world would not last here, not because they lack courage, but because Roman life asks the body to become a tool. Every day, again and again, you begin to understand the title of your own strange dream. Why you would not survive one day as a Roman baker. Not because of danger, not because of battle, but because of the ordinary work, the endless, necessary, invisible work. As the afternoon fades, the final loaves are sold or stored. The oven is allowed to settle. The fire lowers. Ash gathers in soft gray layers. The bakery grows quieter. Your hands are no longer cleanable. Flour sits beneath your nails. Smoke lingers in your hair. Your arms tremble slightly when you lift a basket. Outside, golden light touches the upper walls of the street. Rome becomes softer in the evening. The noise lowers. The air cools. Shadows stretch across the stones. The baker counts coins. You sweep the floor. Each movement sends flour dust into the air again, glowing in the last sunlight like tiny stars. You are too tired to speak, but you are also strangely calm. The day has reduced everything to simple things: fire, flour, water, hands, bread, hunger, sleep. When the bakery door is finally pulled closed, the city has begun its evening rhythm. Lamps burn in windows. Somewhere someone plays a quiet tune. A family shares food behind a curtain. The smell of cooked beans and herbs drifts through the street. You sit down at last, not on a soft sofa, not in a comfortable bed, just on a wooden bench beside the cooling oven. The stones still breathe warmth into the room. The last heat of the day wraps around you like a heavy blanket. Your master places one small loaf beside you. It is imperfect, a little too dark on one side, a little cracked across the top. But it is yours. You break it slowly. The crust gives way with a quiet sound. Inside, the bread is warm and dense. You take a bite, and for the first time all day, you do not think about surviving. You only taste the bread. You listen to the quiet bakery. You feel the tiredness settle through your body, deeper and deeper, until even your thoughts begin to slow. Rome is still outside, ancient, restless, hungry, alive. But inside the bakery, the fire is fading. The flour dust is still. The work is done, at least for tonight. You lean back against the warm wall and close your eyes. Tomorrow, before sunrise, the city will need bread again. The mill will turn. The dough will rise. The oven will glow. The people will come. But that belongs to another morning. For now, there is only the soft darkness of the bakery, the gentle smell of warm grain, the last quiet crackle of ash, and the heavy, peaceful feeling of sleep arriving at last, slowly, naturally, like bread rising in the dark. You breathe in, you breathe out, and ancient Rome fades gently around you. A peaceful walk through ancient Egypt before sunrise. You wake before the sun. The world is still blue and quiet, wrapped in the soft darkness that comes just before morning. For a moment, you do not move. You simply listen. Somewhere nearby, a small oil lamp flickers. Its golden light trembles softly against the mud brick wall. The air is cool, touched by the night, and it smells faintly of linen, clay, and dried reeds. You are in ancient Egypt. Outside, the village is still sleeping. You rise slowly from your woven mat, feeling the smooth floor beneath your feet. The house is simple and peaceful, built from sun-dried bricks that hold the coolness of the night. A folded linen cloth rests beside you. A clay jar of water sits near the doorway. You drink a little. The water is cool. Then you step outside. The sky above is deep indigo, slowly softening at the edges. Stars still shine over the Nile, though they are beginning to fade. The moon hangs low, pale and quiet, watching over the rooftops and palm trees. The village paths are narrow and made of packed earth. Your footsteps make almost no sound. Small houses stand close together, their flat roofs dark against the sky. A few sleeping dogs lift their heads as you pass, then settle down again. There is no rush. No loud voice, no marketplace noise, only the soft breath of morning before morning has truly arrived. You walk toward the river. The Nile waits beyond the houses, wide and dark and gentle. Long reeds move at the water's edge. Their thin leaves whisper in the breeze. A fishing boat rests close to shore, tied with rope made from plant fibers. Its wooden body rocks slowly, barely moving. The river smells fresh and earthy. You stand there for a moment, looking across the water. In ancient Egypt, the Nile is life. It gives water to the fields. It carries boats from village to village. It brings rich black soil after the flood season. Without it, the land would be dry desert. With it, there is grain, fruit, animals, gardens, and bread. You breathe in slowly. The air is colder near the river. A heron stands in the shallows, perfectly still. Its reflection stretches across the dark surface. Far away, you hear the quiet splash of a fish. The eastern sky begins to change. A thin line of gold appears at the horizon. Not sunrise yet, only the promise of it. You continue walking beside the riverbank. The ground is soft in places, firmer in others. Your sandals press into the dust, leaving small marks behind you. The palms lean gently over the water, their long leaves moving like quiet hands. Ahead, a farmer is already awake. He walks slowly toward his field, carrying a simple wooden tool over one shoulder. He does not speak loudly. He only nods as he passes, and you nod back. His face is calm, used to early mornings and long days under the sun. Soon, more people will come. Women will carry jars. Children will wake. Workers will walk to the fields. Boats will push out into the river. But not yet. For now, Egypt belongs to silence. You leave the river path and turn toward the fields. The land here is dark and rich, almost black, fed by the Nile's yearly flood. Rows of barley and emmer wheat move softly in the faint breeze. Dew rests on the leaves like tiny beads of glass. You walk carefully between the fields. The earth is cool. Somewhere, an ox shifts in its pen. A bird calls once, then falls silent again. The smell of damp soil rises around you. It is a deep, peaceful smell, the scent of life beginning again. In the distance beyond the green land, the desert waits. It is still dark, a wide shadow of sand and stone. Soon it will glow red and gold in the sun. But now it is quiet, almost dreamlike, as if it belongs to another world. You pause near a small irrigation channel. The water moves slowly through it, reflecting the changing sky. These channels help carry the Nile's gift into the fields. They are simple but important. Every small stream, every ditch, every careful path of water helps the crops grow. You crouch beside the channel and touch the surface. Cool water moves over your fingers. Then you stand and continue. The village is behind you now. The river is to your left. The fields stretch wide and calm around you. Above, the sky continues to lighten, changing from indigo to violet, then to a soft gray blue. You pass a small garden near a house at the edge of the fields. There are onions, lettuce, herbs, and fig trees. The leaves are still. A clay oven sits near the wall, cold for now. Later, it will be warmed for bread. The scent of baking will drift through the village, mixing with smoke and morning voices. But now, only the garden sleeps. You walk on. A low temple wall appears ahead, pale in the first light. It is not a huge monument, not the grand stone temple of a king, but a smaller sacred place used by local people. Its doorway faces the rising sun. The stones are cool, and the entrance is quiet. You do not enter deeply. You only stand near the outer wall. Ancient Egyptian life is filled with the sacred. The rising sun is not just morning, it is renewal. Each day, light returns. Each day, the world begins again. The sun god's journey across the sky is part of the rhythm of life. You look east. The horizon brightens. The first birds begin to sing. One voice, then another, then several more. The sound is gentle, not loud, like the world slowly remembering itself. A priest walks across the courtyard in a clean linen garment. His steps are slow. He carries a small vessel, perhaps water for purification. He does not hurry. Morning rituals must be done with care. You watch quietly. There is something peaceful about the order of it all. The river, the fields, the temple, the sun, everything connected by rhythm, everything returning. You turn away from the temple and follow a path toward a small rise of land. From here, you can see more of the valley. The Nile bends through the green earth like a dark ribbon. Palm trees gather near the water. Mud brick houses cluster together in the village. Smoke begins to rise from one roof. Someone has lit a cooking fire. The smell reaches you faintly. Wood smoke, grain, warm clay. A woman steps from a doorway and lifts a jar to her shoulder. A child follows sleepily behind her. A man unties a donkey. Another person shakes out a linen cloth in the early air. The village is waking slowly, not all at once, just one life at a time. You stand still and let the scene unfold. The sun has not fully risen yet, but the world is no longer dark. The sky near the horizon is now pale gold. Above it, soft pink spreads into blue. The desert cliffs in the distance begin to glow. The smell of bread grows stronger, warm, earthy, comforting. You follow it for a while, not because you are hungry, but because it feels like morning itself. A small oven glows near one house. Flat loaves are being baked against the hot clay. The scent drifts into the street, mixing with smoke and river air. You stop at the edge of the lane. Behind you, the Nile flows. Ahead, the village wakes. Above, the sun climbs higher. And for a moment, you feel as if time has become very wide and very gentle. There is no need to hurry through this morning. No need to know what comes next. You only need to walk, to breathe, to listen, to notice the way light touches the mud brick walls, the way dust rises softly beneath a sandal, the way palm leaves move against the sky, the way the river carries the sun in small, broken pieces of gold. You continue through the village until you reach the doorway of your small house again. The oil lamp inside has burned low. The room is brighter now, filled with quiet morning light. You step inside and sit near the doorway, where the air is cool and the sunlight falls across the floor. Outside, life continues, but gently, slowly, like a song you almost remember. You close your eyes for a moment. You can still hear the river. You can still smell the bread. You can still feel the cool water on your fingers and the soft warmth of sunrise on your face. Ancient Egypt does not feel distant now. It feels close, peaceful, human. A place of early mornings, patient hands, flowing water, and golden light. You breathe in. You breathe out. The day has begun. But inside you, the stillness of before sunrise remains. Quiet as the Nile, soft as linen, warm as the first light touching the fields. And as the morning settles around you, you let your thoughts grow slower. The river moves on. The palms sway. The village hums gently. And you rest there, in the peaceful doorway of an ancient Egyptian morning, feeling calm, safe, and deeply, deeply still. You wake up in a tiny mountain village. You wake to the soft sound of bells, not loud bells, not church bells ringing across a city. Small bells, gentle bells, the kind tied around the necks of goats as they move slowly along a hillside path. For a moment you do not open your eyes. You simply lie beneath a thick wool blanket and listen. The morning is quiet. Somewhere outside, a rooster calls once, then grows silent. A little wind moves against the wooden shutters. Far away, water rushes over stones in a mountain stream, steady and cool, like the world breathing in its sleep. You open your eyes. The room around you is small, warm, and simple. The walls are made of old wood, darkened by years of winter smoke and summer sunlight. A clay cup sits on a low table. A folded scarf hangs from a peg near the door. Beside the window, a small bunch of dried lavender is tied with string, filling the room with a faint, calming scent. You are in a tiny mountain village, high above the valleys, far away from traffic, screens, crowded sidewalks, and the endless rush of ordinary days. Here, morning arrives slowly. You sit up, feeling the cool air touch your face. The blanket falls around your shoulders, heavy and soft. The floorboards creak gently beneath your feet as you stand. Through the narrow window, the world outside is still blue with early light. Mountains rise beyond the village, enormous and peaceful, their upper slopes touched with snow. Mist rests in the lower valley like a pale river of clouds. The sky above is clear, just beginning to brighten behind the dark edge of the peaks. You dress slowly. A linen shirt, a warm sweater, thick socks, soft boots worn smooth from walking village paths. There is no hurry. Nothing here begins with an alarm. The day begins with light, with bells, with water, with the quiet movement of people who have known the mountains all their lives. You open the wooden door and step outside. The air is cold, fresh, and impossibly clean. It fills your lungs with the scent of pine trees, damp earth, smoke from morning fires, and wild grass wet with dew. You breathe in deeply, and your whole body seems to wake a little more gently than usual. The village is small enough to know in a single glance. Stone cottages with wooden roofs gather along a narrow path. Little gardens sit behind low fences. Stacks of firewood lean against walls. A few windows glow with golden light. Smoke curls from chimneys and drifts upward into the pale morning sky. No cars pass, no horns sound, only footsteps, only birds, only the far-off stream. You begin to walk. The village path is made of flat stones, uneven and beautiful, worn smooth by generations of feet. Moss grows in the cracks. Tiny white flowers lean over the edges. Your boots make a soft, careful sound as you move past sleeping houses and quiet doorways. A cat sits on a windowsill, watching you with sleepy eyes. You nod to it as if it is an old neighbor. It blinks slowly, then turns its face toward the sun. Ahead, an elderly woman opens her shutters. The wood creaks softly. She wears a gray shawl and carries a small basket of folded cloths. When she sees you, she smiles without surprise, as if everyone who wakes in this village belongs here. "Good morning," she says. Her voice is low and warm. You answer quietly and continue walking. Near the center of the village, a small fountain pours mountain water into a stone basin. The water is clear and cold, falling in a silver ribbon from a carved spout. You cup your hands beneath it and drink. The taste is clean, mineral, and bright, like melted snow traveling through stone. Beside the fountain stands a wooden bench. You sit for a moment. The village wakes around you, one sound at a time. A door opens, a broom sweeps a doorstep, a kettle is placed over a fire, a child laughs sleepily inside a house somewhere nearby. Bread is being baked. The smell comes slowly at first, warm flour, yeast, and wood smoke, then grows richer, wrapping itself around the morning like a blanket. You stand and follow the scent. At the end of a narrow lane, a small bakery rests beneath a sloping roof. Its windows are fogged with warmth. Inside, a baker moves through golden light, placing round loaves on a wooden shelf. His hands are covered in flour, and his face is calm with the patience of someone who has repeated the same task every morning for years. He notices you outside and waves you in. The bakery is warmer than the street. The heat from the oven wraps around you gently. The air smells of crust, smoke, butter, and honey. Baskets line the wall. Loaves of different shapes rest beneath cloths. Dark rye, round country bread, small rolls with seeds on top. The baker offers you a piece of warm bread. You take it with both hands. The crust is firm. The inside is soft. Steam rises as you break it open. You taste it slowly. It is simple, earthy, and comforting. There is no sweetness except what comes naturally from the grain. No rush, no packaging, no noise, just bread, warmth, and morning. You thank him and step back outside. The sun is beginning to reach the rooftops. Light spills over the wooden shingles and touches the stone walls. The frost in the shadows begins to melt. The mist in the valley thins, revealing patches of forest and fields far below. You walk uphill. The path leaves the village and becomes narrower, turning into a dirt trail bordered by grass and wildflowers. The bells you heard when you woke are closer now. A small herd of goats grazes on a slope above the houses. Their bells make soft, uneven music as they move. A shepherd stands nearby with a walking stick. He is quiet. The goats are quiet. Even the wind seems quiet. You pause beside the fence and look back at the village. From here, it looks like something held gently in the palm of the mountains. A handful of roofs, a curl of smoke, a shining thread of stream, so small against the vastness around it, and yet complete. The mountains do not rush. They do not explain themselves. They simply stand. And somehow, standing there, you feel permission to be still too. You continue along the hillside. The grass brushes your boots. Dew dampens the edges of your clothes. Bees move slowly through small purple flowers. Pine trees rise ahead, tall and fragrant, their branches whispering overhead. The trail enters the forest. Immediately, the light changes. It becomes green and soft, filtered through needles and leaves. The air is cooler here, rich with the scent of pine resin, mushrooms, and damp bark. Every step is cushioned by fallen needles. Birds call from hidden branches, their songs echoing lightly between the trunks. You walk without needing to arrive anywhere. That is one of the quiet gifts of this place. A walk can simply be a walk, not exercise, not a commute, not a task, just the slow movement of your body through a peaceful morning. After a while, the trail leads you to the stream. It runs clear over smooth stones, tumbling down from higher snowfields. The water is fast, but not violent, bright, but not loud. It speaks in a language of ripples, splashes, and soft rushing sounds. You sit on a flat rock beside it. The stone is cold beneath you. The forest surrounds you. A sunbeam reaches through the branches and rests on the water. It breaks into moving patterns of light, silver and gold, always changing, never leaving. You take another piece of bread from your pocket. It is still slightly warm. You eat slowly, listening to the stream. For a few minutes, there is nothing to solve, nothing to plan, nothing to become. Only this, a tiny mountain village waking below you, a forest holding the morning close, a stream carrying melted snow toward the valley, your breath moving gently in and out. When you stand again, the sun has climbed higher. The day is warmer now, though the air remains fresh. You follow the trail back down through the pines, past the hillside, past the goats, toward the little village. By the time you return, the village is fully awake. But even awake, it is peaceful. A man repairs a wooden gate. 2 children carry a basket between them, walking carefully. A woman waters herbs in a clay pot. Someone shakes a rug from an upstairs window, sending a cloud of dust sparkling into the sunlight. The fountain continues to pour. The bakery door opens and closes. The cat has moved from the windowsill to a patch of sun near the steps. You walk slowly through the center of the village and find a small table outside a simple inn. The table is made of rough wood, worn smooth at the edges. A cup of warm tea is placed before you, fragrant with mint and mountain herbs. You wrap your hands around it. The warmth seeps into your fingers. You take a slow sip. The tea tastes green, clean, and a little sweet. Across the square, an old man sits carving a small piece of wood. He does not seem to be in a hurry to finish it. Shavings fall softly at his feet. Every movement of his knife is careful, steady, familiar. The mountains rise behind him. Clouds move slowly across their peaks. You watch them for a long while. In this village, time feels different. It does not disappear. It stretches. It opens. It gives each small thing room to be noticed. The steam from your cup, the sound of a broom, the shadow of a bird crossing a wall, the smell of bread cooling behind a window, the soft thud of apples being placed into a basket. Later, you wander toward the far edge of the village, where the houses end and terraced fields begin. Stone walls hold the earth in careful steps along the slope. Small patches of vegetables grow in neat rows. Fruit trees lean into the sunlight. An apple tree stands near the path. Its branches are low and twisted, full of green leaves and small fruit just beginning to blush red. Beneath it, the grass is soft and cool. You sit there for a while. Above you, leaves move in the breeze. Beyond them, the sky is bright and blue. Below, the village murmurs gently. You begin to feel sleepy again, not from exhaustion, but from peace. The kind of sleepiness that comes when the body feels safe, when the mind has stopped reaching ahead, when every sound around you is soft enough to become part of a dream. A bell rings somewhere in the village. Just once, then silence returns. You close your eyes. You can still see the morning in your mind, the blue light at the window, the fountain, the warm bread, the goats on the hillside, the forest path, the stream flashing in the sun, the tea warming your hands. All of it gathers inside you like a quiet song. When you open your eyes again, the sun is higher, but the day remains gentle. You walk back toward your small wooden room, taking the long way through the village so you can pass the fountain once more. The water falls endlessly into the stone basin, clear, cold, patient. You touch it with your fingertips, then you continue on. Your door waits just as you left it. Inside, the little room is full of soft light. The lavender near the window smells warmer now. The wool blanket lies folded on the bed. The floorboards glow honey-colored in the sun. You sit beside the window and look out. The village continues its quiet life. Someone carries bread home. Smoke rises. A dog sleeps in the shade. The mountains stand beyond everything, calm and watchful. You breathe in, you breathe out. There is no need to hold on to the morning. It is already settled inside you. Slowly, you lie down again beneath the wool blanket. The window is open just enough to let in the cool mountain air. From outside comes the faint sound of bells on the hillside, the fountain in the square, and the faraway stream moving over stones. Your eyes grow heavy. The tiny mountain village softens at the edges. The light becomes warm and golden. The sounds become gentle and distant. And as you drift towards sleep, the mountains keep watch, still, ancient, peaceful, holding the village, the valley, and you in their quiet, endless calm. A slow voyage across the Atlantic in 1850. You wake to the sound of water, not waves crashing, not a storm, only the slow, steady sound of the Atlantic breathing against the wooden sides of the ship. For a moment, you keep your eyes closed and listen. The ship creaks softly around you, as if it is an old house floating through the dark. Rope shifts somewhere above, canvas stirs in the wind. A footstep crosses the deck, slow and careful. Beneath everything, there is the deep, endless hush of the ocean. You are aboard a sailing ship in the year 1850, far from land, far from streets, clocks, shops, and the familiar shape of home. You lie in a narrow berth beneath a wool blanket, feeling the gentle rise and fall of the vessel. The motion is strange at first, but not unpleasant. It is like being rocked in a cradle too large to see, held by water that stretches farther than the mind can imagine. The air smells of salt, wood, tar, damp rope, and wool. A lantern swings softly from a hook, casting a small circle of golden light across the cabin wall. Its flame bends with the ship's movement, never quite still, always adjusting. You sit up slowly. The ceiling is low. The space is simple. A small trunk rests near your feet. A folded coat hangs from a peg. Somewhere nearby, another passenger sleeps quietly, breathing in rhythm with the sea. You dress in layers, linen, wool, a heavy coat for the morning air. Then you climb the narrow steps toward the deck. The world opens above you. The sky is still dark blue, but morning is near. Stars remain scattered overhead, bright and cold. The horizon is a soft line between water and sky, barely visible in the dimness. The sails rise above you like pale clouds captured by rope and mast, moving gently as the wind fills them. The deck is damp with night. Your shoes make a quiet sound on the wood. A sailor nods as you pass. He stands near the rail, watching the sails, the lines, and the sea with calm attention. On a voyage like this, every sound matters. Every change in wind is noticed. Every shift of cloud means something. But this morning is peaceful. The ocean rolls in long, slow waves. The ship lifts, then lowers, lifts, then lowers. You walk to the rail and look out. There is nothing but water, no shoreline, no village lights, no church towers, no smoke from chimneys, only the Atlantic, dark and wide, stretching into every direction. In 1850, crossing this ocean is not quick. There are no jet engines, no satellite maps, no instant messages home. A voyage can take weeks, sometimes longer, depending on wind, weather, and luck. The ship moves by sail and patience. It belongs to the rhythm of the sea. You breathe in. The salt air is cold and clean. It wakes you gently. Behind you, the first signs of day begin. A sailor pulls a rope, hand over hand. Another coils line in careful circles. The helmsman stands steady, guiding the ship along its invisible road. The captain's voice is low and measured. Nothing here is hurried. Even work has a rhythm. A bell rings softly. Morning watch changes. The sky begins to pale. Slowly, a thin silver light spreads across the eastern horizon. The sea changes with it, from black to gray, from gray to blue. Each wave catches a little more light until the whole ocean seems to breathe in color. You stand there for a long time. Then the ship's cook appears from below, and soon the smell of breakfast drifts across the deck. Coffee, oatmeal, hard bread warming near the stove, a little smoke, a little salt. You follow the scent below. The dining space is small, low, and warm compared to the open air. Passengers sit close together at a wooden table, speaking quietly. Some are traveling for business, some are returning home, some are beginning a new life on the other side of the ocean. Their coats hang from hooks, their hands wrap around cups, their faces are tired, hopeful, calm. You sit and accept a cup of coffee. It is strong and a little bitter. The warmth spreads through your hands. The ship moves beneath you as you eat. Cups slide slightly on the table. A spoon taps wood. Someone smiles when a roll of the ship makes everyone lean together for a moment. There is little fresh food now. The voyage is too long for abundance. There is salted meat, dried beans, ship's biscuit, oats, preserved fruit if you are lucky, and whatever the cook can make comforting from simple things. Meals are plain, but out here, even plain food becomes meaningful. Warmth matters, routine matters. The smell of coffee in the morning matters. After breakfast, you return to the deck. The sun has risen. A pale golden path stretches across the water. The sails glow softly in the light, patched and strong. The ropes are dark with moisture. Drops of water shine along the rail. The day begins its slow voyage. There is nowhere to go but forward, and forward, on a sailing ship, is patient. You watch the sailors work. They climb the rigging with practiced ease, moving high above the deck among lines and canvas. They check knots, adjust sails, and read the wind with their bodies. The language of the ship is quiet but exact. Rope, pulley, mast, sail, current, compass, star. You do not need to understand all of it. You only watch. The movement is almost peaceful from below, like a careful dance. A young sailor coils rope near your feet. He tells you that the wind is fair today, not strong, not weak, good enough to carry the ship steadily westward. Good enough. On the Atlantic, that phrase becomes a kind of blessing. By mid-morning, the passengers settle into their own small routines. One writes in a journal. Another reads a worn book by the rail. A mother mends a child's sleeve. Two men play a quiet game with cards, placing each one carefully so the wind will not steal it. You walk slowly from one end of the deck to the other. There is not much distance. Yet somehow the deck feels like a world. The bow points toward the unknown. The stern carries the memory of where you have been. Between them are people, ropes, barrels, crates, folded blankets, polished brass, and the endless sound of water. You stop near the front of the ship. The bow rises and cuts gently through the sea. Foam forms below, white and soft, then disappears behind you. Every wave looks like every other wave, and yet each one is different. Some lift the ship with a long sigh. Some pass beneath almost unnoticed. Some sparkle suddenly in the sun. A seabird appears. It glides above the water, gray and white, wings barely moving. Everyone looks up. A bird means life somewhere, though land may still be far away. It circles once, then drifts off toward the horizon. The day warms. You loosen your coat. The sky becomes wide and blue. Clouds move slowly, tall and white, their shadows passing over the sea. The ship continues, steady and wooden and alive with small sounds. Creak, sigh, step, wind, water. Around noon, the captain takes a reading. He uses instruments with care, measuring sun and horizon, position and time. Navigation in 1850 is both science and patience. The ocean has no signs, no roads, no walls. The ship must find its place by sky, compass, memory, and calculation. You watch from a respectful distance. There is comfort in seeing someone know what to do. The passengers gather for the midday meal. It is simple again. Soup, bread, perhaps a little cheese. The bowls are warm. The table is steady enough today. Conversation is soft and slow. Someone speaks of New York, someone else of Liverpool. Another remembers a farm in Ireland. A woman describes the smell of spring gardens in Boston. Each memory floats in the room like a small lantern. Afterward, the afternoon grows quiet. The sea becomes smoother. The ship seems to slide rather than sail. You find a place near the rail with your coat folded beneath your head. The sun is warm, but not harsh. The wind is soft. The sails above you fill and relax with a deep, gentle sound. You do not mean to sleep, but the ocean is persuasive. The motion of the ship rocks you. The water whispers. The ropes tap lightly against the mast. Voices become distant. For a while, you drift in and out of dreams. When you wake, the light has changed. Afternoon leans toward evening. The sky is softer now, touched with gold. A sailor is polishing brass nearby. The smell of tar and salt has grown familiar, almost comforting. You sit up slowly. The ocean surrounds you exactly as before, and yet it feels different. You begin to understand how a voyage changes time. On land, days are divided by streets, errands, meals, appointments, doorways. At sea, the day is divided by light and weather. Morning, noon, evening, wind rising, wind falling, sail adjusted, bell rung, meal served, stars appearing. Time becomes rounder, slower, less sharp. As evening approaches, passengers gather on deck. No one wants to miss the sunset. Out here, with no buildings and no hills to hide it, the sun lowers into the sea as if the whole sky has been prepared for the moment. Gold becomes orange, orange becomes rose, rose becomes violet. The water reflects every color, breaking it into thousands of moving pieces. You stand at the rail, wrapped in your coat again, and watch the sun sink. No one speaks for a while. There is nothing to add. The horizon receives the light. The ship sails on. After sunset, the cold returns quickly. Lanterns are lit. Their warm glow moves across faces and wood. The sails become dark shapes against the fading sky. Above them, the first stars appear. Dinner is quiet. People are tired in the gentle way that comes from wind and open air. The cook serves something warm and simple. You eat slowly. The spoon feels heavy in your hand. The wooden walls around you creak with every swell. Later, someone brings out a small fiddle. The tune is soft, not lively, not meant for dancing. Just a slow melody that seems to match the movement of the ship. A few passengers listen with closed eyes. The notes rise and fall with the sea. For a moment, the whole vessel feels like one breathing thing. Wood, canvas, water, people, music, and night. You return to the deck once more before sleep. The sky is full of stars, more stars than you ever see on land. They stretch across the darkness in bright rivers and scattered fields. The Milky Way is pale and immense above the mast. The ocean below reflects tiny fragments of light whenever a wave turns. The night watch moves quietly. The helmsman keeps his hands steady. The compass glows faintly in its box. You look out into the dark and feel very small, but not afraid. Only small in the peaceful way one feels beneath mountains or stars or the endless sea. The Atlantic is vast, the ship is small, and still it moves. A little farther with every breath of wind, a little closer with every passing hour. You think of the people before you who crossed this same water. Sailors, merchants, immigrants, families, dreamers, letter carriers, map makers, people leaving, people returning. So many lives carried by wooden ships under canvas, guided by stars and hope. The wind softens, the sails shift. Somewhere a rope creaks. You begin to feel sleepy. You climb carefully below deck. The lantern in the corridor swings gently. Your berth waits in its small wooden corner. You remove your coat, fold it, and lie down beneath the wool blanket. The ship rocks you again. Up, down, up, down. The sound of the ocean presses softly against the hull. You can still smell salt in your hair. Still feel the wind on your face, still see the sunset fading into the water. Above you, unseen but present, the sails hold the night wind. The captain watches the course. The stars shine over the mast. The Atlantic rolls endlessly beneath the wooden body of the ship. You close your eyes. Tomorrow will be much the same. Water, wind, sky, simple meals, quiet footsteps, a slow journey westward, and that sameness feels comforting now. The voyage does not need to hurry. The ocean does not need to explain itself. The ship knows only how to continue. And you, wrapped in the warmth of your small berth, let yourself continue with it, breathing slowly, resting deeply, drifting gently across the dark Atlantic of 1850. The waves whisper, the lantern sways, the wood creaks softly, and sleep rises around you like a calm, endless sea.